Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, isn't it? Hump day. Good morning, Vin. There we go. Let me say good morning again, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. What I want to do today, we're going to do it a little different this morning because there's some things that I want to point out here that might be worthwhile as we look at charts and how we go forward, with today, the rest of this week, maybe next week, maybe even for the next 6 months. Because I believe that we really need to watch the trend. And for me, it doesn't matter what news is out there. It doesn't matter what rates do. Doesn't matter what inflation does. Doesn't matter, because it will all be reflected in the market. So I don't go run out and open the newspaper. What good news or bad news is out there? All I've got to do is turn on my screen and look at the chart, because it's always, every single time, reflected on the charts, okay? So let's just run through a few charts here. Whew, sorry, I had to catch my breath. Okay, so looking at the SPY, and I'm using the dark chart because I think the red and the green really show up well, and I think it sets it apart for this topic. Now the SPY here, we're doing pretty good. If you look at this little area right here, of course, if you look at that, area coming down here, then, well, it's not really doing so good. If you look at this downtrend, there we go. If you look at that downtrend, we're not doing so good. If you look at that, we're doing kind of good. The thing about it is that little move right there, really, this is like the baby stage. So if we're looking at this bullishly, that's just the baby stage. Look how you get nice and green. Look at those runs right there. That's what you want. That's what I've got a couple of scans I'm working on to focus on that, where I'm not looking for a half a dozen days green. I want 20 days green. I want to miss out on a lot of trade, but I want to trade that. Let's see, CLS example. Look at that. I want it to start. I want it to work, several days, and now go trade this thing. One of the things I hear, which is, it's true. It really is true here lately, that, well, jeepers, if I don't get into here, I'm going to miss out on this, because nowadays it seems like more times than not, we crash down. That does seem like lately, that's maybe a bigger crash than what we should have put on there. You don't get this, but that's not true. Those charts are there. You have to hunt for them, create that watch list. They're there. And that's something I can do. So anyway, I'm looking at the SPY here, and I'm thinking, if we get bullish with the SPY, is this really where we want to go crazy bullish on? Look at all that resistance up here. Let's take a look at the Qs. Now, I think the Qs might be faring a tiny bit better. Of course, we'll see at the end of today, won't we? We'll see at the end of today. But right now, I think they're faring better. But I sure would like, if we were to do this, here we go. Let's make this yellow. See that right there? If we were to add another string like that, what that's going to do is it would have to. It would accomplish another high, a higher low, might even start getting into that next higher high up here. You see how that might be a better trade? And if we go back and look at the examples. I urge, to do that. So anyway, IWM, a lot of people are watching IWM. If you watch IWM too much, you're likely to be ill. That's just an ill chart. That's all there is to it. IWM is not even remotely close. So I say, if you're, this thing will make you ill. Take a look at transports. Transports, they're nowhere near viable yet. Some people say, well, I never buy the transports. Why should I look at them? Because transports are a very, very, very important piece of the entire stock market. Maybe more than what a lot of folks give credit to. But this is one of those charts you look at every day. What's it doing? And if you want to be bullish, look how that works out right there. Look at that. You know why? There's that run. And see, here's what happens. And I'm guilty as sin of this. Absolutely guilty as sin. You know, buy right here. Buy right here. Well, we're only up, well, what, 5 days? That hasn't improved squat in 5 days. Look how many times it did it and failed. Did it and failed. Look at this. Did it and failed. That's a little more than 5 days, but that's what I'm after. Double this one right here. I mean, look at this. You see what happens? When we try to rush in, oh, we've got to make that money. No, let this thing go. Make sure there's enough days in there where this thing is trending. Now, let's play ball right here. And how do we know it couldn't have gone higher? And it's the same way. Shorting is different, okay? Shorting is a little bit different. Shorting is panic. This is walking up the staircase. Shorting is jumping out the window. So, you know, I'm going to handle shorts a little bit different. When they cross down, I'm going to take them seriously. But the longs, let them work out. Let's look at SMH. SMH here. Where in the world is SMH bullish for us right now? It's not. And look how we're up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, we need to extend that to maybe 20. 20 days. If this chart can't put 20 days bullish, then it's a no good chart for a long. Think about that. If you don't, you know, if it can't put a 20-day bullish run in there, I have no interest in that chart. Because what it's doing is building that momentum. And if there's not enough momentum to get you 20 days, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for some real trouble. So anyway, something to think about there. You know what? I'm going to leave it on the dark chart today. Well, let's just leave it right here. Anyone have any charts you want to take a look at? Here's a couple I might be looking at. Amazon, maybe. Maybe. Not a, you know what? Forget Amazon. I'm not looking at that today. A BMW, if it starts to break out, this could end up being one that I possibly look at. DraftKings is another. Let's get rid of all this. DraftKings, if we can move over those highs there, I might be interested in DraftKings. Roblox is one. See how Roblox here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No, 15 might be doable. But you can see how it made a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We're back here to a higher low now. You see, you've got some mojo going on here. You're up enough days that the buyers might be taking it serious. So Roblox is on that list. Dave C., can I explain the OSTK trade you made at the end of the day? I will do that right after the open, if that's okay, Dave. Right after the open, all right? AEO, look at AEO. Jack put out AEO. You see, that's perfect, Jack. That is exactly what I'm talking about here. You've got a good trend started. Now you're preparing for that entry. And let's do this too. We broke out. I think that's an absolute plus. There you go. So you know anything below, what, 1750 there, you might not want it because it didn't live up to its promise. You know, its promise here was, I'm going to break out, and we're going to be very positive about these things. And if you break out with a nice candle like that, this chart is promising to do more of it. And it did more of it the next day. So if this chart was to break its promise, you might not want it. On the other hand, the chart is very much allowed to rest. And then we can look for buying. And right in here, right now, nice inside day. I think that's a good looking chart. Thank you for sharing that with us, Jack. Mike is looking at TNet. Whoa, doggy. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Look how we turned from red to green. We came back and tested. How many days? Now this is one that, you know, would have worked out early on. But how many don't? And I'm telling you, a lot of them don't nowadays. So this one worked out perfect. But look at that. If you know, it gaps up. After it gaps up and it settles down, that's enough days right there, looking back. Now, look at all the entry points. Every little swing low, with a bullish attitude after it becomes a buy right here. Every swing low. What a nice chart. Look at the setup right now. Look at the flag right here. I suppose I could draw that, couldn't I? I have all this technology here. Look at that. Look at that flag right there. Beautiful. What a great entry. I like that. Where would you not like it? Well, it broke out of the flag, and that's why you're liking it, isn't it? Well, wouldn't it make sense that if it came back down through that flag, right? Stop there. Nice. Beautiful chart. Let's flag that. Okay, I've only got one more time for one, and then I have to cut it off, and it'll be ANF. We'll take a look at that, ANF. Beautiful. That's what you're doing right there. Get those trends. Get those trends. And then wait for those pullbacks. The 3/8 trap. The class that Doug is going to be teaching Thursday, tomorrow, the class Doug is going to be teaching tomorrow, he will be talking about trends. And he will be talking about the pullback into the 3/8 trap. He'll be talking about that on the short side too, just the opposite of this. Trend down and then a lift up into the trap area right here. This is a nice chart. I love that. We'll flag that one too. There we go. All right, folks. I've got to run now. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. We'll see you all at the bottom of the hour, and we'll get this market open. Let's have a great, great Wednesday, okay? Take care.